Hey, your team might be exhausted. They might have anxiety issues where their stomach is just tied in knots and painful all the time. Or if you're mostly men or young men, they're going to have aggressive issues like behavior type things that happen to them as well. Hey, I'm Dr. Randy Wurts, inThrive Chiropractic. I am dedicated to seeing your kids and your family be as healthy as possible. So let's dive into this. And if you haven't watched the previous videos, you might give a good explanation of how your team got to this point. Because what I start to see is when a subluxation, let me rephrase and define that word for you again, a subluxation can start as early as birth, but along the way, you can have stresses along the way, whether it be sports, emotional stress, even chemical stresses, maybe certain medications, chemotherapy, unfortunately, if that's the case as well. I've seen those in young adults as well, where chemotherapy lingers and it affects the nervous system too. So we start to see that those successions can start to build up into a nervous system that just doesn't function correctly. And that's what the definition of a subluxation is. It's some issues in your spine that's not allowing those nerves to communicating back and forth between the brain and the body. And it goes in stages where it starts with a stressed out fight or flight stress, maybe as a child and as a baby with colic and meltdowns and ADHD, those types of things. And then it starts to scramble in the mid-years where it can actually cause like ADHD or anxiety disorders, those types of things. And then it gets to the teen years where it's just exhaustion. Like kids can just be depressed and tired all the time. And you might think, isn't that just hormones? That's the teens going through the growth spurts and hormones. And it may not be, because you know your child better than anybody else. And what you can start to see is in boys, particularly, like we said, behavior issues, but girls tend to be a little more anxious, a little harder to define those and draw out because they want to regress a little bit more. Poor sleep can be a connection. They're just find that it's just tired a lot, no matter how sleep they get. Immune struggles, digestion issues can be an issue as well because they're just sick all the time. And then neurologically, it could lead into neurodivergent conditions as well, or they might have already been diagnosed with this, and it tends to just gradually start getting worse, and maybe even seizures along the way, depending on what they went through in life too. So this point being, these subluxations, they start to add up and they start to gain momentum. And no matter what, the cause is there. They just show up differently no matter what the symptoms are, but the cause is there and it's rooted in the nervous system. I gotta tell you, no other practitioner is looking at this. No other healthcare provider other than neurologically focused chiropractors are looking at how the subluxation, how these nerves affect the body. And that's the logical sense for looking at because they control everything. And with a simple scans and with a simple physical exam, we're able to pinpoint those problems in your teen, in your child, in your toddler, in your baby, because that's where it can all start. So they don't have to grow the rest of their life like this and turn down to burned out adults. So if this sounds like your child, your team, just not wanting the last school year to be like this school year, it's like, man, there's a lot more that I see and more potential in my teenage daughter or son than what I'm showing, what's actually they're bringing to the table. By all means, I'd be happy to talk to you. Give us a call, and we'd be willing to have a chat. Me, personally, I'd be willing to have a chat with you so we can say, hey, was chiropractic the right fit for you, and answer all your questions or concerns along the way, too. Hey, I am Dr. Randy Wurts. Hope you're having a great day. God bless. Bye-bye.